Okay, today is word problems. Okay, now, however, it also includes when to use systems of equations. So, when do I solve by graphing? Okay, when I want a visual display of what's going on. And that's really the best way, the best and really the only reason to graph is when I want to see what's happening. I want a visual of what's going on. I want a picture of what's happening, not just the numeric answers, but I want a picture of what's going on. Okay, you see it on here, you have the example, it's on your notes. That graph tells you everything that's going on. I have income, expenses, where do I break even? Well, my income and my expenses are the same thing. Okay, graphing shows me that visually. That's what graphing is good for, but you have to be really good to get a good exact answer. Okay. You want to do it algebraically whenever you can. When do you use substitution? When one equation is already solved for one variable, or it is easy to solve for one variable, where you have x equals or y equals. If you have x equals or y equals, substitution works very good. When you have x equals and y equals, substitution works very good. And there are times when that's the best way to solve. My preferred method is elimination. Okay, and that's when the coefficients are matching with opposites, but we can also change equations to make them solvable for elimination. Okay, they're easily done. What I look at is, are the variables lined up? Do my x's line up? Do my y's line up? Do my equal sign line up? Do my constants line up? If everything lines up, I do elimination. If I have y equals or x equals, I do substitution. Let the equations dictate what's going on. Okay? Let what you have in front of you, let what the problems are dictate what's going on. Okay, so at the bottom you have a graph that actually describes what we're going to be doing for our applications today, or at least the ones in the examples. If you are running a company, running a business, this is what's going on. Okay, when you have income, how much money you're bringing in, how many items sold, how much money you're bringing in. So if you're selling at $10 a piece, you sell 10 of them, you get $100. You sell 15 of them, you get $150. You have a graph that describes how much money you're bringing in. You have another graph, another equation that describes your expenses, how much it costs to make them. Okay, so much to lay out plus so much that you make per item. Where's your break-even point? You want to be able to sell at least that much. Where's your break-even point? That's one of the most important things a company can know. Am I going to actually make money or not? Okay, do I have a break-even point? Where do I break even? Where do I sell as much as I bring in? Okay, that's the minimum you need to sell, is that much to break even. You sell less than that, you're losing money. You need to be able to sell that. If whatever you're making doesn't sell enough, isn't going to sell enough, there's not a big enough market for it to break even, then don't do it. Okay, and that is a problem that a lot of businesses get into. Ooh, I can make this and I can sell them for $100 a piece. Well, it costs you $200 to make it. It's not going to make any money. Or you can make 50 bucks a pop on the item, but nobody's going to want to buy enough of them in order for you to be able to sell enough to make money. because it's not an item that is wanted that much. A handful of people are going to want it, but not enough to sell them to make a lot of money. Okay, this is an important thing to consider when you're doing this. Okay, particularly in this day and age when you have a lot of people that are making stuff at home and selling it online on the internet. You can find all kinds of stuff that people make at home and they sell. Think about Etsy and eBay. You know, and if you're making something you're selling there, you got to have enough of a market in order to be able to make some money off of it, or it's not worth your while. Okay. So let's turn the page over. Let's look at the examples. A fashion designer makes and sells hats. The material for each hat costs $5.50. The hats sell for $12.50. The designer spends $1,400 on advertising. How many hats must the designer sell to break even? So we have two equations we're going to come up with. One for income, one for expenses. Income's actually pretty easy. How much do they sell them for? $12.50. So Y equals how much money is he making is equal to 1250x. X is the number of hats. $12.50 per hat. You sell one hat, you make $12.50. You sell two hats, you make $25, and so on. That's an easy equation. How much per hat? X is the number of hats. Okay. Then you have your expense equation. How much money does it cost you to make them? Okay. Well, the materials is $5.50 per hat. $5.50 per hat. $5.50 per hat. That's what it costs to make. But he also spends $1,400 on advertising. Sets up a web page. Get somebody to set up a web page for him. You got to pay for the domain name and all that good crap. Yes, that costs money. I know because my brother-in-law sells domain names. I don't know how he does it, but he makes a buttload of money off of it. Okay. So that also counts as an expense. $1,400. So he spends $1,400 to get everything started, plus another $5.50 per hat. Do you understand where that information comes from? Do you understand those two equations? Because that's probably the most important thing. And like I said, in this day and age, where people are making stuff at home and then selling it online, this isn't that far off as it used to be. There isn't a whole lot involved if you're doing something at home for yourself. You have your business outlay, advertising, websites, whatever you want to do. How much it costs per item, how much you can make per item. So you want to know how many do I have to sell in order to not be broke? To actually bring in more money than I'm putting out. That's easy. This is a system of equations. I have two equations. I like this system of equations because to me, it's substitution. What is Y? Y is 1250x. So I take that, put it into here. So I take 1250x is equal to 550x plus 1,400.
Gavin.
So this is what we do. Y equals. Y equals two things, set them equal to each other. Solve this equation.
Do you have the notes?
Subtract 550x from both sides.
Can you answer, please? Do you have the note page?
Gavin.
Okay, good. Thanks for answering me. Never mind, I don't care.
Okay. Subtract 550 from 1250. 7. Somebody check me. I think it's 7. Okay, thank you. So I have 7x equals 1,400. Now what do I do?
Like that to be answered. Do you like when
Divide both sides by 7. And I think it's 200. X equals 200. So they have to sell 200 hats to break even. So if this was you, let's say you were making something, you were doing this. Do you really want to make 200 hats? Is it something you enjoy? Is it something that's easy to make? If you're hand knitting hats, these hats are being hand knit, that's going to take you a while to pop out 200 hats to break even. I mean, if you want to do that, you can do that. But this is what I'm talking about. This is a good example because a lot of people want to do stuff like this and they don't stop and think before they get started, am I going to actually make money? How many do I have to actually sell to make money? Do I want to make that many items to make money? How long is it going to take me? If it takes me 2 days to make a hat, you're not going to make any money the first year you're doing it.
And plus, people like your products,
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. Are you going to make something that people are going to want or not? You know, if you are making San Francisco 49ers hats and you're selling them on a street corner in San Francisco, you're probably going to do pretty good. If by the same token you're selling Seahawks hats on the street corner in San Francisco, you're probably not going to sell that many of them. Okay, so you got to figure that stuff out. And I'm kind of emphasizing that because I know a lot of you probably have stuff like this running through your head. Ooh, I can make this. I can make money doing this way. I can make money doing that. Not a bad idea, but you have to think it through. You got to plan it out before you do. You got to think about whether or not I'm going to actually make money off of it. Okay. So, same thing, same idea. Okay. Puzzle expert wrote a new Sudoku puzzle, or Sudoku, whatever, I don't care. Puzzle book. His initial costs are $864 plus binding and packaging costs 80 cents each. Price for the book is $2. How many copies must he sell to break even? Geez, when was the last time you saw a $2 book? Okay. Same idea. We need to have two equations. One for income and one for expenses. Okay, it's actually easier when you read the equation to do the expenses first, because that's what shows up first. His initial costs are $864 plus 80 cents each. So each book will cost him .80x, 80 cents per book, plus $864. Probably self-published. Everybody self-publishes these days. His income is actually a lot easier to do. How much did the book sell for? $2. Y equals 2x. You got your income, you got your expenses. Same thing we just did on that one. Y equals 2x. I'll take this 2x, plug it in for this y. 2x equals 0.80x plus 864. And then you solve. That's my first step. Subtract 0.80x from both sides. So I should get 1.2x equals 864. divide by 1.2. Somebody please do that for me. How many books must you sell? How much? $720. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be very good or not. 720 books. It's going to be hard to sell those, particularly when everybody has a free app on their phone. I do, right? Everybody here. Shut. Okay, questions?